after about 2 weeks of watering with our watering cans from the well, we have finally got to the stage where we're going to put the drip feed irrigation system in place today. I'm a little bit nervous about doing it, probably because I've never done anything like this before, but I have got a plan and I'll talk you through the plan. I knew my PowerPoint skills would come in useful again. So this is the plan. So what's going to happen is we're going to take some 32 mil pipe from the IBC, and that's in yellow, and that's going to go all the way down to in line with the potatoes. That's going to be our feeder pipe. Then from each, there are going to be 3 T-junctions, 1, 2, 3. And those T-junctions are going to feed into 16 mil pipe without any holes in it. And that's going to go down, and that's going to be the feeder pipe for the vegetables. And then after that, we've got 16 mil pipe with holes every 33 centimeters. It's going to actually be the ones that are going to go next to the plants. Okay, and that's going to go across. So as you can see, we've got 3 systems here. One for the top onions, one for the mixed bed, and then one for the potatoes. And then we have got, I'll be putting like little stoppers at each end. So what I think we're going to do today is we're going to do it a bit like a jigsaw, and we're going to set out all the components before we connect them to make sure that we have everything that we need. So wish us luck. It's going to be a day of head scratching, I think, and maybe getting a little bit frustrated trying to get things connected. But hopefully by the end of the day, we will have a drip feed irrigation system set up. Welcome to Drip Irrigation Central. We've set this table up so we can get all the components out, and we'll be able to keep coming back and looking at the map about what's needed where. So I'm going to talk you through what we've got. So this side is all 32 mil pipe work and connectors, and I'll go through that in a moment. And then this side is all 16 mil pipe work and connectors. Okay, so over here we have, starting at the IBC, this goes on to the IBC, and this should connect the tap for the IBC. That's the main tap. Okay, then we have these, which is to create a T section which will go down to the 16 mil pipe here, will go in here. So we need to drill a hole into the 32 mil pipe to put that on. These are connectors for the 32 mil pipe if we need them. We may not need them. They were very useful when we were filling up from the well. And then this section here is all to do with the timer, and we'll work out how that works a little bit later. So over on the 16 mil side, we have taps on and off. Oh, a bit stiff. Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. We have T sections. We have connectors. We have end stops. So these get used by just bending the pipe round and creating a kink so the water won't go anywhere. And we have elbows. So we're going to start from the top, and we'll start from the IBC and start working our way down the veg patch. So as I said earlier, we're not going to connect everything straight away. We're just going to lay it out like a big jigsaw at the moment, and then we can come back and connect things, just so we know we've got the right components that we need.
Right, it's time to grab some 32 mil pipe and lay it out between the IBC and the end of the potatoes.
Yep. Shall we cut it now?
Yeah, leaving ourselves a little bit
Extra?
extra.
You've
yeah.
gone over down there anyway.
By about metre.
So if I cut it here?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
Have we hit the stumbling block already?
I'm not 100% sure. I think we've got enough components. It's just working out which way to go. We haven't even started and we've got frustrated and confused. Right, I know that's a connector. That's fine.
And we had 2, didn't we?
I don't know if we had 2 or whether we only had the 1. Okay? Because this is stupid, but the only way we can tell that it's because it's muddy, which means it's been used and these are new.
So that's correct. We know we're good with that. We know we didn't balls that up.
I just don't understand how that connects to the IBC. We don't seem to have a part for that. We've got this that connects to the IBC,
Yeah.
but there's no way for this to connect to that.
No, but that's because that's not the right part.
Okay.
Or there's something which screws onto there, which then does the job, but I can't see how.
No. Okay, start from the other end then. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was a great start to the morning. What time is it?
It's not coffee time yet.
What time is it?
10 to 11.
It is coffee time.
Okay. Coffee time. So, a little bit frustrated really, because we seem to not have the part that we need to attach to the IBC. So it's the part from the IBC to the 32mm pipe. We thought we had a part, and having chatted to the people at the shop, they gave us the part that they thought we needed, but it doesn't do the job. So whether we managed to get our drip feed irrigation done today, I don't know. I think we're going to carry on and try and do all the other parts of the pipe work, and then maybe see if we've got time to go out to a local shop and see if they've got any as well. Okay, so this is the 6mm no holes, and we're going to 3 runs of that.
That's the job of the 16mm non-hole pipe complete.
Yep.
plenty left over to get tangled in.
Yeah.
I'll go and get the 16mm drip.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this next one is I'm going to put a T in. So that's basically just cut the pipe, insert the T, and then put the drip line going down on the potatoes. Can't do it with the gloves on. There we go.
Oops.
Lovely, thank you.
Should I pop it on?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Not on enough?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Our first ever irrigation system is set up, albeit one that currently doesn't allow us to get any water from the IBC whatsoever. So it's a dry irrigation system.
Yeah.
Hopefully some condensation will appear in the pipes overnight. But we're all set up ready now, at least the potatoes are, for when we get the connector to the IBC, which we're hoping we'll grab later on this afternoon.
Yeah.
As we come up with a plan B.
Up to the mixed bed now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courgettes, melons, onions and swede.
Swede. Yeah.
Cool.
Good. Well, we've done as much as we can do today. We've put out drip irrigation down for the potatoes and also for the mixed bed, and actually by the end of it Paul actually started enjoying himself instead of being grumpy pants at the beginning because things weren't working out.
Yeah, it was a tricky old start. Tricky old start. We thought we were absolutely good to go right from the get-go, but we were undone by the fact that we didn't have the correct connector to come from the IBC into the pipework. We're going to head off in the car now, see if we can rectify that, and it'll give us a chance to come back tomorrow morning and see if we can finally get some water running through the pipes.
I think the other job we've got to do is, because the grass has grown back down here after Paul rotivated so beautifully, the extra onion bed that I'm going to set up the top here needs weeding, so we need to rake that over and get that ready for planting again. Yeah, because things are just growing back so fast.
We'll get a few furrows which are grassless, and then that should give the opportunity for the onions to take set before the weeds eventually grow back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, good morning. We are back down at the veg patch and we're going to be trying to finish off the drip irrigation today. And that's because we managed to get our part. Managed to get it at the local DIY shop. So I'm chuffed a bit about that. So the plan today is we have got one extra bed to prepare before we can fit the drip irrigation on there. But it's going to be a really hot one today. So we're going to finish off we're going to connect up the main pipe and we're going to connect up the mixed bed and the potatoes so that we have an opportunity to get them watered by the drip irrigation this evening.
Another test?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe because it's off, we've not got it on free flow or something.
Yeah, it's leaking again, isn't it?
I don't know, I can't see.
It's leaked there and it's leaked here.
Okay. It's only going to be on. The only other thing I can get you is some gas pliers to tighten it fully. But a few drips for the 10 minutes we're going to have it on isn't going to be a problem because it's not. I know, because you can't have it on auto then.
Why?
Because you have to have the tap fully on for the automator to actually know when to turn it on and turn it off.
And it'll just be constantly leaking
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah. I did see big handled tighteners at the shop, big plastic things, a bit like can openers.
I think if we get it all together, we'll just have to then just keep coming back and
tightening or
rejigging until it's done. So we've got leak there, leak here.
But it doesn't come through the timer at the moment.
No. So we'll just set it up and we'll
read the instructions.
And then we'll work out how we're going to get all this watertight, because you are right, it's a really good point you've made. If that doesn't work, if that's leaking, we'll end up with no IBC in the end. Well, it's effectively our third day of trying to sort out our irrigation system and vegetable plot. It's an early start, it's just gone 6 a.m. with the temperatures forecast to be up to 35 Celsius today. I've come out really early to get ahead, and my plan is to dig over the remaining part of the vegetable area that we scarified and rotivated. We were previously just going to shove some onions into it, but we had a chat yesterday evening and we're going to get some more plants such as pimentas or peppers into the ground to test what it's like growing them here, in the hope that we can be successful or learn from our mistakes, so we'll be even more knowledgeable by the time we come to do this next year. So I'm hoping if I spend a couple of hours digging over the area with a fork and then Miranda comes behind and rakes over, we should remove not all the grass that's still growing in this area, but at least the majority of it, and then the onions, peppers and anything else we plant can at least get a head start before the grass grows back, because what we've learned already is it's 100% guaranteed to grow back. It's a battle we're going to have over numerous years, turning this area, which is basically now grassland meadow, back into a productive vegetable area. I've been going about an hour and I've really enjoyed myself. You're quite rightly suggesting in the comments that a plough would make such a difference to us with managing the land, turning the soil over, and we agree. But I've got to say, having been out this morning, doing things by hand, just using a fork to turn the soil over, it's really enjoyable. I can just relax, listen to the bird song, not disturbing anybody, and it's really nice just to be really close to the soil. One thing that Miranda and I were determined to do when we moved out to Portugal was to embrace the physicality of managing this land. So I know sometimes it makes it look quite hard work, unnecessary hard work when we're doing things by hand. There's an element of that we really desire. We will get the machinery we need, because ultimately it's going to make things easier, quicker, more productive, and there'll be times where physically it'll be too much to try and do 8.5 acres entirely by hand. We definitely want to be productive with what we do, but doing things by hand just brings that greater intimacy, and I think that's really handy because we're seeing this soil for the first time, we're managing parts of the land for the first time, so getting a good close-up look at the quality of the soil, how stony it is, it increases our knowledge of what we're working with, and on the back of that we can make the right decisions on what to do in particular areas to make the most of what we've got.
So I'm having to do a bit of weeding. The onions are growing fantastically well, but so is everything else around it. I raked this bed, as you saw probably on the last video, but there's obviously so much grass seed in here, everything's just growing every time we water it, so we're watering everything at the moment, so having a go at doing a bit of weeding, but the roots the grass roots go right down, so we'll see how it goes.
So here we are down at the veg area for the 4th time, so it's the evening of the 3rd day. And I gotta say, we're finding things on this particular job pretty tough.
Especially without a tractor.
Especially about the tractor. Doing everything by wheelbarrow, as I might have mentioned before, isn't as much fun when you've had the convenience of dropping things in the tractor and driving down. It's the wheelbarrow is not great for keeping things organised and tidy. But we've cracked on, we're going on as best as we can. The little niggle we've got, and we've spent a lot more time over it than we were expecting, is the IBC setup, where we're connecting the pipe work which will run the water down to our irrigation system. We're getting constant leaks at every point that there's a connection, and we can't quite work out how to prevent it, or whether it's just something that comes with the territory of having an IBC. We don't know, but we're at least trying our best to prevent those leaks, because there's no point having water running out around the IBC instead of down around the vegetable area.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem if we weren't going to put it on a timer, and we've put a timer on. If we were just coming down and turning on the tap every night, no problem at all. If it had a few drips, it's fine, because we're going to switch it off. But because we're putting a timer on the system, as soon as you open up that tap from the IBC, it starts dripping. So what we've decided to do is we've put some sealant around it, and we're going to see if that works. I think it's because it's plastic to plastic connections. They're not the best, really. I don't know if there's a metal solution. Maybe somebody can tell us.
Yeah, if you have any experience of this, give us your advice and tips in the comments. So that's that cleared off. And then I think the second thing which is making it harder is that the temperatures have really risen, and it's going to be the case because we're now into June. But it was 35 Celsius today, so trickier to work in. And I appreciate that you'll be well aware that we're doing certain jobs at probably the wrong time of year, just because we're new to it all, because of the rain delays we had with the wettest spring in, or winter spring in Portugal in such a long time. But it's just making it tough going, and I've just had the first semblance of thinking, oh, okay, this lifestyle isn't.
It's different, isn't it?
It's different. I was going to say a little bit harder than I expected, and I don't think that's fair, because we're here for a bit of a hard slog. We don't mind it, but it's just that, wow, okay, one of those moments have arrived.
As you can see, I'm melting, and I've hardly done any work down here at all so far.
Yeah,
absolutely melting here.
So we're going to get on with what we've been doing already. We're going to be digging over some more veg patches for onions and peppers,
get some peppers,
and things like that. It's gone 7 o'clock. I'd still probably imagine it's somewhere between 25 and 30 Celsius, but it's okay. We'll just chip away at it.
Yeah.
We'll show you also the difference that we think we've got between Miranda's technique for turning over the soil and mine, but we'll get them finished and then show you and see what you think of that. Okay?
Vote for me. Vote for me. My way's best. Excuse the pinkness. This is my fly screen hat, because I get eaten alive when I'm down here at the veg patch. So I've got my fly screen hat on, which I bought couple of years ago actually, so first time I'm using it. Right, okay, so we are back down the veg patch again, and Paul has done his bed, which I'll show you now, and we're going to try the IBC again. So story up till now has been, every time we've checked all the connections, it started leaking, so we've put more sealant on it, and we've waited another 24 hours, and I'm just going to go and test to see if it's leaking. All of this is up to the timer. We've only got about 5 connections, but it's like tighten one and then the next one leaks, so we will go and do that little test now. Oh. On, and no leaks anywhere. This is brilliant. Excellent news. We might be able to turn the system on tonight. So this is Battle of the Seed Beds, where I've done mine in one way and Paul's done his in another. So let me show you the difference. This is my bed. I've got quite fine soil, and I did that by digging it over again and then using the rake. And this is Paulie's bed. His soil's a bit lumpier, a few more stones. And how did you do your bed?
Right, it took time, but I basically just used the fork and turned over the soil and picked out the grass as I went along. I think the difference between my bed and Miranda's bed, not that I'm saying anybody's is better than the others, but I've got soft soil down about 6 to 8 inches, whereas Miranda's probably more like 2 to 4. And I think for rooting vegetables, this bed would be more suitable. And then Miranda's bed would probably be better for above ground vegetables such as your courgettes and your cabbages. That's my take on it anyhow. So basically mine's the winner.
Well, it just shows us always more than one way to do something. So I'll probably be putting onions in my bed because they don't have very big root systems. So yeah. So that is the top 3 beds done, and the drip irrigation is done too. And I'm now planting the rest of the onions, and that should be it for the day. It is time for the grand switch on for the drip feed irrigation. Looking forward to this. We put a lot of work into this and everything's planted up, so we're going to program the timer and give it a go.
Yeah, we're basically going to tell it start working right away. We've let the soil dry out, so it'll be clear and obvious if the pipes are dripping out. We'll set it to run for about 5 minutes, and that should give us time to walk around, check all our connections, make sure they're not too leaky, check that the full run is getting watered.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed, that'll be it. We can start relaxing when it comes to watering. No more buckets down the well.
I know.
The water's getting further and further away, so we're having to pull the bucket up higher and higher and higher.
It has been enjoyable though, but yeah, I have to say, coming back after Portuguese lessons and then having to come down here and water is a bit of a bind.
Yeah, big step forward, fingers crossed. Leaking.
Is it?
Leaking everywhere.
Oh no.
That is not straight, it's moved. Total failure. You see how off centre the pipe is.
Well, that was a total fail again, so we're going to have to go back to the drawing board again and have another think about how to stop this blooming IBC connection from leaking. Sealant doesn't seem to have worked, so I might try the PTFE tape next and see how that goes. So
we've wrapped the thread coming from the IBC with PTFE tape. We're hoping that will create a firmer fix with this adapter, which we keep having leaks from. Neither myself or Miranda are confident in any way, shape or form that this will work, but I think it's the last plan that we can think of as we're stood here, right now. So we'll give it a go.
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. Okay, so I'll set the clock again.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes.
All right. The tap's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the PTFE tape, I think that's what it's called, has worked at the moment. Timer's going to go off in 2 minutes and we'll see if it waters the garden. Our plan B now, if this doesn't work, is that we are actually going to sell up and buy a fruit and vegetable wholesalers where we buy everything in, because I think that'll just be easier. And you thought digging the trenches was hard.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Water coming out. Need to fix this end bit. Water coming out on our potatoes. It's working all the way down the furthest point.
We sort of read up and were told that the pipes would release 4 litres of water per hour per hole. Looking at what's coming out, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that. So we'll probably do an hour test. And look, if the IBC completely empties, which it would do if it was 4 litres an hour per hole, fine, we'll just refill it from the well again. But yeah, I don't think we're in any danger of washing away our vegetables with having it on. And this is 5 minutes and it's barely anything down, so I think we're safe to put the timers on for longer. But they're definitely doing their job, I think. Yeah?
Setting for test number 2.
So it's 10:49, so I'm going to set it off at 10:51. And for 10,
Okay.
how long? We'll do 10 minutes this time. Yeah?
Yeah.
There's no water coming out of there.
Yay.
No water.
Cool. We need to check the bottom of this hose then.
You hear the water? It's going and working across, and then it'll go up and then it'll go
Fill.
back towards us, I think. Yeah, I've got water here now. Not quite as strong. Yeah,
See it? Yeah. Really pleased with that. It's working.
it is. I'm just not quite sure now how long to set the timer for how much watering we need to do, because it's quite easy to tell when you've got the watering can, because you just absolutely saturate everything. I think I'm starting to just gently get the hint though that quite a lot of plants don't need as much watering as we give them, and that overwatering can be a bit of an issue for us.
Yeah.
I think we just stick it on for an hour and just see how empty or full the IBC is at the end of it.
I'm good for that.
And then rein ourselves back in again if needs be.
And would you are you going to do an hour daily or an hour every 2 days?
I think we should do it twice a week.
Okay.
Eventually, when we really hone in on what we need to be doing, I think twice a week would be all right.
So what we're going to do to start?
We'll just do it the once for an hour and see what we end up with.
Every day?
Not every day, just one experiment for an hour.
Just today?
And then see where we're at.
Okay. Is that job complete?
That is job complete. We'll put that down as a success.
Just took a few days.
For now. Until one of us walks into the pipe and bumps it and it falls off the IBC and we end up with a massive flood. But until then, it's a success.